up, everybody? How are we doing today? Happy Monday. Whoever said that? Whoever said that is on the drugs. Happy Monday to you guys. I hope you had a fantabulous weekend. I actually had a great weekend with my sons. It was great. Family, kids. Is there not nothing that you wouldn't do for your kids? Because I would step in front of a steam locomotive for my kids. Are there any steam locomotives anymore? Meh, I don't know. I had to check and see if my microphone was on. Besides the point, you guys, I feel like when we have children, right? Something in our chemistry changes, something in our aura, in our soul changes. Now, you guys, I have had a gift. I look at it now as a gift. I've had a gift since I was a 5-year-old girl, since my innocence was stolen from me. Have you ever seen the movie Constantine with Keanu Reeves? Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie or not, but it is a guy that has a gift and he's able to distinguish who is evil in this world, right? I firmly believe that I was given a gift at a very young age. And once that innocence was stolen, it opened the door for evil to come into my life, whether it be to frighten me, whether it be to steer me in that direction. I don't know what it was about. I don't know what the end goal was. Only just recently, about maybe a week and a half ago, almost a week ago, almost a week ago, I had no idea why I was granted this gift, right? It all makes sense now. It all makes sense now. Now, I shared this story on my channel a long time ago when I was well under 100,000 followers or subscribers, what have you. I shared this story with you guys. And it is such a frightening, most traumatic, one of the most traumatic things I think I've ever gone through. I shared this experience on my YouTube channel, and I got cut off for some. I had to go pick up my son, and then I continued on telling the story in my car, live streamed it, and now I know why. So for some odd reason, the night before I went to the school board meeting, I was perusing through movies to watch because Roman and I usually watch a movie before bed to get him winded down. But he crapped out on me and he fell asleep before we could do our movie, which is good. Going to bed early is not such a bad thing, right? Constantine came up, and I haven't seen this movie in years. I mean, probably over a decade, right? And so before I went to the school board meeting, so it was on a Monday, actually a week to this day. Crazy. It all made sense. I'm like, holy cannolis, it's a gift. It's a gift to see the evil in the world. It's a gift that I was given that I could read people very well. Only a few in my lifetime have ever fooled me. Boy, oh boy. When I went into that school board meeting, when I was telling you how the people who were repelled whenever you had a conservative talking point, the worst was when they were writhing in their seats and frothing at their mouths when you had mentioned God. Oh boy. It was almost as if they were sitting on hot coals. They couldn't sit still. Well, that is how my body reacted when these evil people were at the podium. And do you know the term a lion in sheep's clothing or a wolf? I'm sorry, a wolf in sheep's clothing. I see a couple of those that went up to that podium that night. Big old, tall, old, white haired Santa Claus looking dude, right? Besides the chubbiness and the jolliness, I could tell that this man was pure evil, right? And the more people that went up to that podium to be proponents for keeping pornography in our schools, the more their masks were slipping. cue the Jeanette Jennings, Jabba, mask was off, telling people if we have conservative values, if we don't want pornography in our schools, we're going to get trans kids unalived. I am 100% convinced that these people who have been radicalized, the liberals, right? I am 1000% convinced that they are possessed by some unworldly force that propels them to scream in your face, to demoralize you, to demean you, to call you these horrendous names, everything but your own. These people are pure evil, pure evil. And then you see some of them who are high ranking, like in the evil department. And then you see the minions that are below them, like the kind of little marionettes, you know. There's those ones that pull the strings, and there's those little followers, like little sheep being led to slaughter. The silence of the lambs. So poetic and so prolific at this point. I'm over here going, people are going to think I'm fucking crazy. They're going to think I'm lunatic, right? I don't know if you guys have caught that video a long time ago or not. It's still up on my channel, right? When I was a 5-year-old girl, some unspeakable things happened to me in my bed, my own little princess canopy bed. And the slightest look, or if I look at something or hear something or smell something, it sends me into a tailspin, right? It's a PTSD episode. A video of Dylan Mulvaney in a princess bed literally triggered me because it automatically made my brain go, holy shit, remember when? And people on the radical left side, either they don't give a shit or they're like, I don't see any big deal with sleeping with kids. What's the big deal? I can't wrap my head around why these people think that pushing pornography to kids is okay. How? It doesn't, I can't fathom it. I can't. It doesn't compute with me because I know exactly what exposing children to that type of thing does to kids. I know what it is. I know what time it is. So anyways, I shared this video on my my live stream. I had 2 live streams, man, because I was like, I have to get this off my chest because I locked it away in my memory bank. And then something just opened it, that Pandora's box, and these memories flooded in. And I just had to double check that I wasn't like having a false recollection. So my sister, as liberal as she is, can't even have a conversation with her. She screams in your face if you're disagreeing. It's like, wow, man. Wow. We got her and I got into an argument about people changing their actual genders, right? And I'm over here going, she really thinks that if a man says he's a woman, he's a woman. I'm over here like, okay, sure. I sound like the crazy one. But am I though? Anyways, I asked my sister, dude, I remember this memory that I had, and I told her all about it. She goes, I remember you telling me about that. And this was in 1985. So my validation was there. And so I had to go live and to get this off my chest. Like, has anybody else seen these types of things? Please tell me I'm not alone. I firmly believe that there is evil all around us, and there's also good all around us as well. And I feel like God chooses you for a reason to see those types of things so that you don't get fooled easily, so that you can say, okay, it's here. Either I can embrace it or I can fight against it. So I don't know about you guys, but I think everything happens for a reason. Firm believer in that. So I put this video up on my channel, and I was really like, I planned on people calling me nuts. I didn't get that. And unfortunately, it wasn't only one instance of me having this type of experience. It was a few, including when I had 2 near fatal, you know, near death experiences. I can tell you that there is something here besides us. So I'm always reinforcing my little one. We have to do good. We have to be better. We have to be good people because there's only one of 2 places that you are going to go when it's time to meet your maker. And all of these people who embrace Satanism and all this, that, and the other, and then they want to rebuke God and say that God isn't real. And it's like, you dipshit. Satan is literally in the Bible. There is no Satan without God. And then we have people that, oh, God and Satan is not real. The Satanists, the ordained ministers of Twitter. I'm an ordained minister of Satan, which is an oxymoron in itself. Oh, it's not real. God's not real. Satan ain't real. Well, then, whatever bullshit that you got off the internet to make you an ordained minister is bullshit. You're basically calling yourself a bullshit artist. Good job. Anyways, back to the experience that I had when I was a 5-year-old girl, man. I was laying in my bed, the very same bed that my innocence was stolen from, right? In one of the most tragic tales. My sister and I shared that bed because it was a full-size bed, right? And I was like in between a twin and a queen, like we couldn't give like that much more. Nah. It was before my mom got us separate twin beds. Anyways, me being the 4 years younger, I had to go to sleep earlier than everybody else. My mom was never home. So my sister and brother were in charge of me. And of course, I'm probably pretty annoying at 5 years old. By 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, they had enough of me. I got put to bed, right? I got put to bed, and we had a ranch style home, 1 floor on a slab, no basement, nothing like that. Nothing extravagant, nothing huge. Very underprivileged, just so you know. Just had to throw in that one. I'm laying there in my bed and I'm staring out my window and I blink or something, and then I hear a pop against my window, right? And I look and I'm startled at what I see. It's right in between dusk and sunset, so it's a little bit still light, but not enough to make out features. It wasn't a ladder or anything because my windows were pretty high up. So you couldn't stand in my outside and look up into our windows. You'd have to put something there in order to do so. We had a berry bush outside of our window anyways that had nice prickers on it. You're not going to stand on that because it wouldn't support your weight. What I saw was a massive head. It was about this big all together. And it was this horned head. There wasn't no shoulders or any facial features, but it was one of the most crippling things as a child to see, right? I'm over here shitting myself, not literally, but figuratively in my bed, right? And I'm looking and I'm going, am I seeing this shit? Is this happening? And so I pull my covers over my head thinking, I'm seeing this shit. This ain't here. I wait a couple minutes. I remember my heart's beating out of my chest. I uncover my head and that fucker's still there. Commotion's going on in the living room and the hallway. My brother and sister have their older friends over, and all of a sudden I hear my sister's and my brother's voices or whoever was there, and it disappears like smoke. So I'm like, did that literally just happen? Right? I was shocked. And it was very fresh. I told my sister about it apparently, and for many years I locked it up. I was able to forget that memory, right? But I wasn't allowed to forget what happened to me. I couldn't forget sights, the words spoken to me, sounds of zippers, smells. I couldn't ever forget the words. I could never forget the physical pain. I could never forget that trauma that happened to me. And when I was a child, for 3 years straight, the voice in my head kept saying, "Why me? Why me? Why me?" It haunted me, right? It haunted me for many years. And after that had happened to me in my bed, it opened up a floodgate for these predators to prey on me, right? It was terrible. It was a test. So when I wear a shirt that says "Stop grooming our kids," it's not because I'm being facetious or being a bully. It's because I have been through that process. I know exactly what it is, and I know how to detect that. Unfortunately, a lot of people like us have to go through this on our life on this earth and go through that. It's a terrible, 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 terrible weapon that predators use to gain entry. And once they do, it's all downhill from there. It's the literal definition of childhood trauma. It's the literal definition of ruining a child for the rest of its life. Man. So I think all things happen for a reason, and I think I was put there at that school board meeting. A lot of people bitch about it on the internet. It's great and all. But you need to get up off your computer. You need to get up away from your phone, and you need to start showing up and actually doing something about it. I felt helpless, right? I felt like, you know what? You've been doing this for years on your computer. You've been doing this and staring in a camera. Get the fuck out there and do something. Get out there and do something. And so I think it all ties in together. I think that it all ties in together and that I was put there for a reason. Now, I am not claiming that I am the perfect Christian woman. I'm not. Nobody is. He who is without sin, may they cast the first stone, right? I don't think I'm perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I never claimed to be either. But what I do know is that I will use what I have been through in my life, and I will use my ability that I have been given to distinguish who I have to go to battle with. And I'm not talking physical battle. These fucking leftists, they mince your words up and they make you feel like, and make you sound like you are this violent extremist because you want to protect kids. They mince up your words even if they're caught on camera because they think in their convoluted minds that that shit's going to work. Not today, Satan. Not today. So they're threatening me. I'm so scared. Trust and believe. I have stared in the face, well, in the silhouette of probably one of the most evil things that this earth and whatever it is, the underworld has to offer. And that didn't break me. So if they think that I will scare easily, well, nah, not going to happen. You hear my hound of heaven up there? That's just one out of the two. Yeah. My address was given out in the school board meeting, and I thought about that after the fact of turning in that paper, like, oh shit, did I have to put that on there? I should have just put the street name. But here's what I have to say. I have children in my home Leave it to your imagination, please. For all of you unhinged, real violent extremists out there, understand this, that there is nothing I wouldn't do to protect minds. Okay. So now they're threatening me with the law and all kinds of bullshit. Why? Why? Is that because I'm over the target? You don't want me to expose what you got. Well, tough shit. I got a fucking timeline going back years, bitches. And I want to thank let's keep her anonymity today. But she is fearless. I have a timeline of their whole fucking agenda, and what I uncovered, what she uncovered and gave to me will blow your socks off. This has been an evil agenda, and guess what? Are we going to sit back and take it? No. So I urge you, if you are a parent in the school district, shut up. If you're my mother just got home. If you are a parent she gonna fuck me up, just so you know. If I have a black eye on next time you see me, it's probably why. Let's hope she's old and can't hear me, or that she thought I was talking to the dog. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. If you're a parent and if you have children, you had better do better. You had better go to battle for them and be willing to do anything to protect them, their mind, their body, and their soul. Because I firmly believe that presence that visited me that night, it was an autumn night. I firmly believe that was for a reason. That was for, you know what, I'm here and I'm going to either, lead you down the wrong path, or you're going to fight me. When evil stares you in the face, okay, you have to fight. You have to be brave, because running away with your tail tucked will get you nowhere. Staying silent will get you nowhere. Kids in the public schools. I saw a meme on Facebook that a guy had posted that before public schools, after type thing. People laughed at it, right? And I'm over here going, but it's true. And I have a timeline that I would like to share with you guys. It exposes a lot. A lot of this stuff kids shouldn't even be thinking about, right? Calm down, hound of heaven. Calm down. But first, let's get a quick message in, because I had to be sponsored. Because speaking out against this type of thing gets you canceled. So I just want to give a brave shout out to the companies that are willing to go to bat for me. This won't take but 60 seconds out of your lives. Bear with me. Zippix. Where are my Zippix? Where are they? Here they are. Best believe me, I tore these to shreds at my school board meeting. I was spitting out shards of wood. These are nicotine-infused toothpicks. And if you're in a school board meeting for 5 hours, you're on a plane, train, or an automobile, these are things here. Sorry, I should probably bring it up. These are the things here that save you from going apeshit ballistic and having nicotine fits. www.zippix.com. ZippixToothpicks.com. Use promo code JustJen at checkout, and you will save 10% off your first order. So thank you, Zippix. I appreciate you wholeheartedly. Made in the USA. They want you to give up. They want you to sit down. They want you to shut up. They want you to not show up and just sit at your computer or on your phone and bitch, moan, and complain on the internet. That's all they want you to do. God forbid if you show up They're going to threaten you. And I'm over here like, why are we wasting police resources when there's other shit going on that they need to spend their time and effort on, like violence and shit? Who knows? Oh wait, well, I'm sorry, old lady who's getting her front door kicked in. I'm sorry. I'm writing this police report of this evil school mom showed up at a school board meeting and showed that there is sexuality in a book. Oh, oh my, sorry, old lady. Best wishes. You know what I mean? It's bullshit, man. You don't use the law, first of all, to threaten me. Second off, to use as a weapon against mothers who are protected. You sound like you have a fucking peg leg. What's going on here? Is that the babysitters? All right. Hello, guys. Queen Bee. Hi. Hi. I appreciate you guys coming, by the way. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, boy. Are you guys ready for this? Oh, God. Oof. Let's go real quick. Give a little shout out to our dear friend, Mike. We all know Mike, right? Lindale. My Pillow. Really quickly. 60 seconds out of your life. Not even. I'm going to do this quickly, like a Band-Aid. Just rip it off. Because I love Mike and I love My Pillow that they were actually willing to do me like this, right? www.mypillow.com. Use promo code JustJen. And guess what? You're going to get this is immediate savings. I already put my promo code up right here in the little box where it says promo code. Yeah, that's instant savings right there. So I'm going to leave that thing scrolling on the bottom, and you guys can check that out. They have brand new stuff coming in. They're new sheets, right? And they have everything that you could ever need. I support Mike Lindell wholeheartedly. So thank you to everybody at My Pillow, especially Dawn. Thank you so much. She's my My Pillow go-to. And please, you guys, use my promo code. It's scrolling down on the bottom and you can save immediately. Also, there's a 1-800 number scrolling down at the bottom, 1-800-859-0173, and that will give you an immediate discount as well. MyPillow.com. Thank you. All America. Is this what America has become? Really? I am ashamed, right? I'm ashamed of not my country. I'm ashamed that half of our country weaseled their way into our school systems. I'm ashamed that the people that don't think that pornography in the hands of kids or that girls should have to share a bathroom with an intact male. I'm ashamed that we haven't stood up and done something about it. Man, I'm ashamed that there are people in this world that are hell-bent on going after a group called Moms for Liberty because they stand up to woke school boards. It's like grown-ass men that have no balls. These like, where are our patriots at? Where you at? Now, I'm going to a meeting tonight, and I can't wait to see. Can't wait to see. Surely get a robe, but use my promo code so you can get a discount. Okay. I have one of their robes, and it's like a blanket. It's like, oh, it's like a warm hug. Their towels are amazing too. I took a word from people. I was like, how are their towels? I don't want to buy them, and if they're not good. And actually they're amazing. They literally make soft towels that are absorbent, because you know that there ain't no happy medium. Either you have these sandpaper like towels that are absorbent, or you have these comfy soft ones that don't wick any water away for shit. My Pillow does so. My mom's wearing the My Pillow slippers right now. Ain't you, mommy? Yep. All right, you guys ready for this? I blew this up 200% so you guys can see that I'm not lying to you. Okay? I'm not lying to you. I have the proof in the pudding. I'll read this to you guys. Bear with me, please, because I usually have to read things 3 or 4 times for it to retain because of my attention deficit disorders. I mean, I could get medication for my, what is it? The diagnosis that I've been diagnosed with since 1992. But we have people that are abusing Adderall, and people that really need it can't get it. Gee, I know there's a couple of progressive leftists in my school board meetings that are contributing to that. Fucking Adderall freaks. All right, no wonder why. I fully believe that if you're under the influence of something, you will open them doors for demons to get in. I know damn well I had demons all around me when I was doing shit, because nothing good happened to me. Nothing good. You guys ready for it? Let's get into it. Here's why they're threatening me. And I figured I might as well get this all out now before they abuse the legal system like they're abusing kids. Okay. Right. My dog just goes, ugh. Fucking bitches. All right. Let me get this off here. Make sure you guys, we've been demonetized. Donation links are in the description. Make sure you're following me on Rumble if we're not on Rumble right now. Here is another one, please. This is all in my link tree on my about page on my YouTube channel. All the ways you can support this mission, because this is now. Let me put it. This is now a mission. Okay, call me James Bond, motherfucker, because I ain't going nowhere, and I will fight this tooth and nail. Okay. Mentor exempted Village School District. This is Ohio for those of you who don't know, but you should be researching if this is in your schools. What's up, Bane King? I want to say shout out to everybody. Thank you so much. Glamma, hi. Angie, hi. Rob, hi. I'm Jen Bond. Well, Bond. Jen Bond. That don't even sound right, Rob. Mentor Public Schools is a school district headquartered in Mentor, Ohio. It serves Mentor on the Lake, a portion of Kirtland Hills, and a portion of Concord Township, and a portion of Chardon Township. As of 2022, it had the district had over 7,700 students and fewer than 1,000 employees. It consists of 1 high school, 2 middle schools, 7 elementary schools, 1 building, cares devoted to students with autism, right? This is a timeline of events that have occurred in Mentor schools since June of 2020. All right, so here's our superintendent's message. This was June 2020. This is the school board meeting superintendent message, and I have to read it for you guys. June 9th, 2020. Oh, look at that. My parents' anniversary is June 9th. All things happen for a reason. Before I end my portion of tonight's agenda, I want to share some comments from the heart. Wait till you guys hear this shit. Last week, we celebrated in a beautiful way the graduation of each of our 600 seniors. I'm exceptionally grateful to those who helped to make that possible. I am so proud of the seniors and their families who rose above the challenges of COVID to celebrate their accomplishments of the class of 2020. However, last week also weighed heavy on me and probably many of you, as we all witnessed another senseless death in our country and the outpouring of emotions that followed. George Floyd's avoidable and tragic underscores a problem of systematic racism which still permeates our society. In my role, I feel a particular call of duty to not just protect our students, but to inspire and empower them. I want all of our students to feel accepted, safe, and valued. And while our district has made progress with our work in the areas of diversity, inclusion, and equity, we still need to do more. And we need to do better. Mentor Schools is committed to being part of the solution, working with 7,500 4 to 18-year-olds every year. We have a unique opportunity to have a profound impact on the advancement of equity, understanding, and justice. As a district, we have an ethical responsibility to unite together to find ways to foster hope, build trust, and strive for equal treatment for all. Providing a high quality education for all the children of our community goes far beyond academics. I'm sure it does, doesn't it? We have the privilege to be part of a shaping important life lesson to our for our youth, including teaching kindness and compassion and what it takes to be good friends, good neighbors, and good people. Certainly, we live in an imperfect world, but we have a golden opportunity to help this generation learn from our past mistakes and work together to drive a meaningful change. And there it is, the introduction. Because guess what? When I asked my son, Matthew, did you deal with any of this? He's like, no, no, mom, I didn't. Oh, we all witnessed. Poor George Floyd. It was unavoidable. You know what, Superintendent Fuckface? You're right. It was. It was completely avoidable. What he shouldn't have done is passed fake money, right? He shouldn't have shoved a bunch of drugs into his mouth and swallowed them. And he shouldn't have resisted arrest. And guess what? George Floyd would still be here. But I'm not going to take up for a sainted man who shouldn't have been sainted at all, especially given that he went to prison 7 different times. He did whatever he did at that traffic stop again 2 years prior. He still said, my mama died. Oh, he used that excuse. He put drugs in his mouth again. And he held a gun to the belly of a pregnant woman. Get out of here. So there's the introduction of wokeness in my school district. But guess what? It gets worse. It gets a lot worse. July 2020 to May 2021. Mentor School's financial reports showing checks written to an education company entitled Better Lesson. So 7/17/2020, and 2 of them, Better Lesson Inc. was given $70,000 from our school district. Curriculum Associates Inc. was given $140,500.80. Better Lesson again in 12/18 of 2020 was given $19,000. 1/15/2020, Better Lesson again, $19,000 again. The next month, $19,000. The next month again, another $19,000. Oh wait, there's more, $19,000, and then they were given a fat chunk of $115,000, which is as crazy because here in April 16, 2021, and then a big fat payment on April 30th, not 2 weeks later, they were given $115,000. And then again in May on the 14th of 2021, they were given another $19,000. The total of these payments for the Better Lesson Education Company began in July of 2020 after Mr. Porter's speech about George Floyd and continued in varying amounts for a grand total of $290,000. The community volunteer gave out packets containing the next 3 slides when it was discussed at the August board meeting microphone. The board members seemed very shocked and confused as to its contents and how the community had gotten a copy of the in-service. Very concerned. The community audience members were horrified as well. These are a few of the beginning slides used in the presentation. They are breathtaking in their handling of racism and racist issues. Oh, wait till you all see this. The essential question here is, how can I be a co-conspirator while using curriculum rooted in whiteness? So we're going to define becoming co-conspirators. We're going to explore scenarios and resources. We're going to build an auditing tool, and we're going to try, measure, and learn to bring it to life. I bet we are. This is Better Lesson, just so you know. This is the anti-white bullshit. Here's their bullet points. Key terms to review in the chat. What do you think the term co-conspirator means? Type your response and do not hit enter until asked. Co-conspirator It's a person whose actions combat racism through direct challenge or subversion of racist structures and institutions. We're going to be confronting self. Anti-racist work means acknowledging that racist beliefs and structures are pervasive in all aspects of our lives, from education to housing to climate change. Did they just Jesus Lord help me. Did they just say that climate change is because of racism? What the fuck? Be better, huh? This is a fucking sham. This is a sham. This is a fucking sham. All right. So they're blaming racism for climate change now. I thought I've seen it all. And then actively doing work to tear down those beliefs. Oh, wow. Actively doing work to tear down those beliefs and structures. Those beliefs and structures just don't exist in primarily white and privileged institutions. They thrive there. It is apparent that curriculum director, Barbara Bonnies, found this in-service program and brought it in-house to be presented to all of the teachers and staff. It is unknown whether she had actually previewed all of its slides within the presentation. There are 66 slides. If you would like to see the entire presentation, it can be found at this link. Here, y'all. Let me copy this and paste this for you in the chat. So if you want to see that, sorry, let me copy and paste it. And I copy and control C. All right. If you want to see it, here we go, babies. Here you go. Oh, that ain't right. Okay, it's not allowing me to. All right. Well, maybe I will share this on my Twitter because I'm in an editor doc because imagine that. My Google, my Gmail would not allow me to grab it from my email. It was fighting with me. I had to fight with Microsoft Word and all this Google Docs and everything else. I had to literally download a new app in order to open this, an editing app. So that's probably why it's not doing that. One parent had this email exchange with Superintendent Porter regarding questions about the teacher in service, and below are the screenshots. Mr. Porter was our previous superintendent, and he has now since been replaced with a woker one, just so you know. Craig Heath. Mr. William Porter, I've responded in blue to your questions to try to make the responses easy for you to follow. Thank you, Bill. Hello, Mr. Porter. Thank you. I appreciate your response to my previous email. I do have a few more questions that you stated where you would be happy to ask. You stated you would be happy to ask any additional questions that I have. I'm trying to understand that when questioned about the training that you say was replaced in June, you were not able to communicate that information during the meeting. I myself specifically gave you the opportunity to answer in regards to the training. You only stated that you have reviewed some, but not all slides. Where is it at here? Communicating with the training was replaced. That would have had avoided some of the negative feedback the board was receiving. You stated it did not align with what you wanted the teachers to learn or share. If you had not watched it in its entirety prior to the board meeting, how were you aware that it did not align back in June? Who made the decision that it did not align? Well, there were 6 presentations for teachers. I had not seen all 6. That's what I was trying to communicate when asked the question at the board meeting. This is the superintendent in the blue, you guys. I had seen the entire presentation that had the slides people were bringing to my attention. Well, why wasn't that decision made prior to the purchase of the training material? That's a pretty good question. The administrative team and the district administrators previewed a lesson from Better Lesson last year prior to contracting to determine if it aligned with our district goals. We had also used the company a previous year. We were not aware of the critical race theory at that time. We reevaluated in June when we looked more closely at the content. Our goal the whole time was to create a more culturally responsive classrooms. How can we better help support and teach and understand students who come from a background different from our own? This was always intended to help teachers directly. In addition, there are teachers in mentor schools who state that it was still part of training requirement in the last 2 weeks. Is there an answer to why that it would still be in the schools? Well, I learned that this morning. The company made a mistake, that there was only a group of 30 teachers at the end of July who attended the session 3 of the original training. That was after we had asked Better Lesson to replace session 3. Better Lesson admitted this is our curriculum director past Friday. This was frustrating to hear after we had committed to changing. Additionally, I'm requesting information on what the new training material entails and when you have started requiring that training within the district. Well, session 3 was replaced with classroom management training called de-escalation tactics and mindsets. I'm asking for a copy of the new training in its entirety so that I may feel more comfortable with what's being presented. Here's a link to the slides of the new session 3, de-escalation and tactics and mindset. I would like to know if the new training that is provided the same company that the one that is said to have been discontinued in June was provided by. Yes. So they're still using the same DEI woke companies for literally teaching our teachers how to indoctrinate kids. Nice. Real nice. Was there a new requirement for the district to pay additional amount for the new training materials? No, he said. Well, I understand you may be busy with the school. You're starting soon. I'd be greatly appreciated if the questions within this email are answered and the current training material is presented as soon as possible so that it may make an informed decision for my children's school year. Thank you in advance for your time and cooperation. By this time, the 2021 school year had begun. These are some of the lessons that were presented by mentor teachers during the first weeks of the new school year. The new school year. At the high school, several teachers requested that students complete a pronoun survey, apparently so that no student would be offended by being called out by the wrong pronoun. So here's your pronouns. How should I refer to you when I'm not calling you by your name? She, her, he, him, they, them, or other. This was a survey at the middle school. Notice there is no choice for white, Caucasian, or European descent. What is your gender? Male, female, other? I prefer not to answer. What is your race or ethnic background? And here they list Asian or Pacific Islander, Black or African American, Hispanic, Latino or Spanish, Native American or Alaska Native. Like we have Alaska Natives here in Ohio. Okay. Then they have other or multiracial. And the last that they have to choose from is I decline to respond. Because I remember when I had to fill out this stuff, for my entire life, there was always a white option. Apparently, we're not even given that anymore. Our kids. So I see a repeat in history happen. That's from all these assholes trying to erase statues and all of this, that, and the other, tear down monuments. Exactly how the Black community was targeted. Now we're the targets. And this is a mode to divide. And now look what they're doing to our kids. First of all, you can come at me all day, every day. I'm a big girl. Best believe me, I can defend myself. You come after my children. Well, good luck. Gen Bond. Elementary. Now that was for middle school, just so you know. The pronouns for high school. If you're white, you don't even matter is in the middle school. An elementary online art teacher used this sample to assign a self-portrait to 5th graders. Notice the suggestions of Black Lives Matter and the LGBTQ. A virtual self-portrait. So notice the rainbow in that fat ass red circle and BLM, burn, murder, burn, murder, and loot. What is it? No, burn, loot, murder. Sorry, got my pronouns fucked up. Or how about this? Buys lavish mansions instead of helping any black community. Yeah, there, that's a good one. How that woman's not in prison is beyond me. I don't see any reference to Caucasians or police officers in here. I don't see any reference to highlighting that we have any Eastern Europeans. And here's what the self portrait of this art student or art teacher said. I am nervous about getting sick and spreading it to my family. I am going to be safe and diligent about washing my hands. I hope students know that our message, you can message me anytime on session or Google handouts. Here's your to-do list. Be a good listener. Do fun projects. Make sure students know that they can reach out to me at any time. Smile as much as possible. You creep. What is this one here? Oh, these are some affirmations or something. These are pages out of the new AP government textbook. Yet, I'm going to propose that my school include Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell. What is that here? The Walrus, Johnny the Walrus or something? The Matt Walsh book. Help Me Grow by Kirk Cameron. Or As We Grow. I'm sorry. As We Grow. And a couple other ones that you guys have hit me with. Thank you. Wow. American Democracy Now, the 6th edition. It's not America, the constitutional republic now. Oh no, we have to save our democracy. Oh, oh, oh. What a way to indoctrinate children. Don't say it's not political. I don't suppose there's a page in this book that says has a little kid holding a sign that says, "Please, I'm hiding from Biden. Don't sniff me." No. Got this poor little kid. Donald Trump, please stop being mean. Be mean. Oh, he's so mean. Oh. I can't wait till he's back in the White House. Here's what they're teaching our kids. Children are socialized to the views of their parents at a very early age. What opinions were you socialized as a young child? Not the caption is, this child is literally being raised by radical liberals because, well, they prefer everything we're dealing with right now than mean tweets. Well, oh, of course, they have a chapter in here, BLM. Wow. Oh, that's nice. This is okay. So we're going to literally tell kids that what BLM has done is just fine. They burned cities down all across the country. They literally funded off of the backs of dead black people. They decimated the black communities. Not $1 went towards black education. Not 1 cent of the $90 million that was literally scammed out of people went to any kids, and no black recreation centers. Not one program. But they hired a bunch of transgender strippers and bought a couple lavish mansions in the whitest of white neighborhoods. Not one black community was enriched. The only black life that matters to Black Lives Matter is Patrisse Cullors and her brood. Her brother makes millions of dollars being her security guard. This is insane. If you want a deep dive on the truth of BLM, you should literally watch the documentary called The Greatest Lie Ever Sold. Bunch of fat black lesbians. That's what Jesse Lee Peterson calls BLM, and I agree with him. Did you guys watch the podcast with me and Jesse Lee Peterson? I got him to say that. I said, JLP, what is BLM to you? And oh boy, did he rear off. They're a bunch of fat, black lesbians. They hate men. They hate the nuclear family. They hate it. They hate white people. And I love Jesse Lee Peterson. That's my grandpa. I'm going to have him back on here. You best bet. Just to piss off the angry liberals who keep threatening me. And I just want to let it be known right now, dude. I don't care if you threaten me on the internet. And I don't care if you threaten me while I'm out and about on the streets, right? I don't care. But if I am with my children, I just want to put it out there right here and right now. If I am out and about with my children, and if you think for 1 second that you're going to attack me in front of my children, I will defend myself. I'm just saying. We here in Ohio are not like fucked up rabid California where they let the criminals run rampant here. We're still half red. We have self-defense laws. And I'm going to tell you what, if I'm with my kids, back the fuck up. And that is the only one warning that you get is right here, right now. Back the fuck up. I won't say it twice. 9th grade health class. Wait, you guys get a load of this? 9th grade is now at the high school, which I am staunchly against because now we have these hormone-driven 12th graders that really get to prey on younger girls. It happens. When I was a kid, 9th grade was still middle school. This is all done by design, just so you know. So here is what they are teaching the 9th graders at Manor High School. Christina and Julia have been dating for a few weeks. Julia likes Christina, but she isn't in love with her. She wants to date another girl in her health class. When she tells Christina that she wants to break up, she gets angry. Then she starts crying. Julia is uncomfortable. She just doesn't know what to say, but she doesn't want to be in a relationship with Christina anymore. They don't even know how to spell. Do you see the typo here? Right above relationship, the doesn't. Yeah. So we're now encouraging lesbian behavior in 9th grade. Way to go. But it can't be like Johnny asked Susie to go to homecoming, but Johnny said no because he was busy helping his grandpa that weekend. No, it can't be nothing like that, though, right? God forbid that they ever, become high school sweethearts and get married and have a couple of children of their own. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Because we got to make this whole gay thing the popular thing to do. These are just a few examples of lessons that were taught before Election Day in November of 2021. So, again, this never happened under Donald Trump. Never. And when he says, I will make sure I get rid of gender theory, trans ideology, critical race theory in our schools, I mean it. And I believe him wholeheartedly. And that is why tomorrow is going to be primary and I'm fucking voting for him. I'm going to run in there and I'm going to fucking rip off my flannel and I'm going to have my free Trump shirt on. Bitches, you're going to know who I'm voting for. I don't care. I'm sick and tired of this shit being in my schools. My kid's not even in school anymore. This shouldn't be pushed to kids, man. This is too young. So just before the election in 2021, let's get back to this. Prior to that day, the current Mentor School Board president, Mary Briner, posted on her personal opinion. Oh, here we go. These are just a few examples of lessons that were taught before Election Day in November of 2021. Prior to that day, the current Mentor School Board president, Mary Briner, posted her personal opinions of the school board candidates on her Facebook page. Oh, so here's our lovely but wait, we have some fucked up shit on her. In my opinion, Ken, Ginny and Maggie are the best candidates. They all have dedication, commitment, and passion to do what's best for our school district and our community 24/7, 365 in good times and difficult times. You slut. Let me tell you something. Their duty is not for your school district, it's for the students. They put money and power and status above our kids. And here is the former president and Maggie Cook. That's our new president. Yeah. Why don't Chardon schools allow you to teach your critical race theory and your gender theory and queer theories in there, right? Why don't they? Because they don't want this shit in schools. They know it's not appropriate. So you come here to Mentor and push this shit so our kids get it, right? Mary Briner. Yeah, these people are all going to hell. These people are all going to hell. Christine is a dedicated parent who cares deeply for the students and teachers and is a wonderful PTA volunteer, but much of what she seeks to do is not possible. I'm not sure exactly what Brandon's goals are or agenda is. I do. I have not heard him say much about it, except calling white people a bunch of horrible names and saying that how racist they are for saying that we should not have this shit in our schools. Nothing to do with race, Brandon. I liked your video on YouTube, though. You know, the one you were in Giant Eagle shopping for roses, even though you know your wife hates roses, because you were saying, I'm so sorry for cheating on you, Mr. Holier than thou. I didn't like it, actually. I actually used another link to look at it so you didn't get the view. We know what your morals are. I'm going to call everybody out, but ooh, don't look at my side of the street. It's all messy. So we know what your agenda is. Diane and Annie pretty much speak for themselves. Their followers are a unique group of people, and they share an agenda that is not in line with the overall goals of the school district. Let me tell you what. Diane and Annie are dead set against allowing boys to go into the girls' bathrooms, and they're dead set against putting this bullshit in our schools. They want kids to go to school to get a proper education, and they are seen as what? The devil, the enemy. It's their agenda. No, bitch, your agenda. Your agenda is showing, and I'm going to be the one to blow the lid off of it. And I'm going to be the one that is like a mosquito constantly flying around you. I'm not going away. Get used to this face. Might as well subscribe. Might as well join the Patreon. Might as well join the family because, bitches, I'm not going anywhere. Let's go on. Let's move on here. Our school district is one of the best in the the county, the state, and the country, and has been recognized internationally. We were making improvements in safety and health and mental wellness and academics every year and every day. We face the same challenges of every school and community faces across the country, and I'm proud to say we're at the forefront of meeting those challenges. Can we do better? Yes. Do we strive to do better? Absolutely. I hope that people realize that all the good the students and staff are doing in our schools, it's not as bad as some make it seem. Okay. Not too long ago, a documentary was made about Mentor schools. It's called Suicide High. You care to check it out? Because instead of focusing on bullying, okay, and these children, that 1 out of 11 children were offing themselves in Mentor schools. In fact, I know of a girl personally whose younger sister's daughter was 12 years old and she killed herself because she was bullied and Mentor schools didn't do nothing about it. But they want to say, we need to let boys into the bathroom because, oh, these trans kids are going to get killed if we don't. Ugh. You motherfuckers. And I'll tell you what, I know somebody personally. In fact, we had a great breakfast today. And you know what? Her daughter has been bullied about her weight since she was in kindergarten. Thank God this girl is a black belt because she's going to need it. Did you know? Did you know that this girl is in 5th grade? And guess what happened? She gets slapped across her face by a little black boy. And you know what the school does? Fucking nothing. A boy slapped this girl across her fucking face. Okay? The school not only did nothing about it, and that's Ridge, where I went to middle school. It's now an elementary school. You know what they did? They flipped that shit and deflected like the good leftists do. They said, "Oh, but your daughter threatened to beat up another student in the bathroom. Your daughter said she didn't do it, but we don't know that for sure." And then they proceeded to double down again and say, "You know what your daughter did? Your daughter called another student's parent gay, gay, gay." This kid wasn't reprimanded. He wasn't suspended. He wasn't taken out of schools. Oh no, he was given a free fucking pass because these internal racist pricks were afraid to be called a bigot or a racist for literally handing him disciplinary actions for slapping a little girl in her face. I'm fucking livid. I don't give a fuck. You call me whatever you want to. But I swear on everything holy, if I were in that school and I saw that this little girl got smacked in the face by anybody, I don't give a fuck if it's a girl. I don't give a fuck if it's a boy. I don't give a shit if they're white, if they're Chinese, if they're black. I don't give a fuck. That kid should have been suspended immediately. We have to prove our DEI. Well, it's just a little white girl who got slapped. Who gives a fuck, right? You know what that tells me? That this school board is 100% going to be just like Loudoun County, Virginia, when that shit happens, when a little girl gets raped in their school. Watch. Motherfuckers, they have no clue. I'm allowed to get mad and animated here, but best believe me, I will have it all together at the next school board meetings. I will come at this with facts. I can't believe this. I can't believe that this city. We have to be woke. I hope every motherfucking parent rips their fucking child out of your school district, you piece of shit DEI perverts. The Annie, we're going back to this now. Sorry, I took myself over there. The Annie in her post is Annie Payne, the rock star, the half of the rock star group that we have on our school board, the only two that are willing to say that this should be about education and the kids, and it's not. The only two that are willing to stand up no matter what. Annie is the only conservative candidate to win one of the 3 open seats and become a fierce advocate of transparency and parental rights. Also, in November 2021, a week after the elections, the students at Menor High decided to have a rally or protest about the bullying situation at high school. While administrators did try to discourage it, then they went on to negotiate terms. But no one involved received consequences. Even though the rally did take place on school grounds during school hours, this protest did make the local news, courtesy of the instigators, and gave the school, the community, some very negative press. We want change. Menor High School students host walkout to protest bullying, racism, and more. Oh, fuck you. All right. In December 2021, this sign was discovered at Menor High School. It is unknown how long it has been displayed. Not wearing a mask is sus, selfish, unsafe, and sickening. I can't even touch that one with a 10-foot pole, y'all. At the January board meeting, it was decided that the men's, women's choral groups could no longer be gender labeled, that they are now known as the Cantor and Bella Voice choirs with a board note of 4-1. In February, a parent was informed by his middle school age daughter that a boy had walked into the girl's bathroom, making her feel terribly uncomfortable. When the father sent an email to the principal inquiring about this incident, this is the email he received. With regard to your statements regarding the transgender student restroom use, please note that the district has a legal obligation to allow transgender students to use the bathrooms facilities of their gender identity. More specifically, the Sixth Circuit Federal Court, which governs Ohio, has held that trans students have the right to use sex segregated facilities at schools based on their gender identity, and the implementation of that policy requires transgender students to use a restroom corresponding with their biological sex or a separate restroom apart from students constitutes discrimination on the basis of sex. Dodds versus United States Department of Education, blah, 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 blah. This aligns with the position of the Office of Civil Rights, which is charged with enforcing civil rights of the laws in an education setting. As a result, the district allows transgender students to use the restroom facilities of their gender identity if they so choose, in keeping with the district's legal obligation to do so. With that said, we do have a single stall, gender neutral restroom located in the clinic that Nicole is welcome to use anytime. You motherfuckers. You motherfuckers. So, if you have a child that isn't mentally fucking ill, well, there is a single cell bathroom in the nurse's office if she wants to use it there. Same as Planet Fitness saying if you don't like this dude that's masquerading as a chick to look in on you while you're changing your tampon, you can go somewhere else. It's the same fucking thing. Well, what about the civil rights of the students who don't identify? No? No? Nothing? So we're going to cater to the less than 1%, I see. Again, get your fucking kids out of this school district. Because I'll tell you what, the way they handled that little boy slapping this girl's 5th grader, I guarantee you that's exactly what they would do. I mean, you can't prove to me any differently. You can't prove to me that you've stood up once and did the right thing here. Instead, you're telling this father if his daughter doesn't like running into boys into her bathroom, she can go somewhere else. As a where is it to say here? Where was I at? Where was I at here? Oh, upon learning that biological boys need no special permission to enter girls' bathrooms, the community began to investigate other gender issues. It was discovered that there are 31 transgender books in the high school and middle school libraries. One of these is Transphobia, Deal with It. How to Be a Transgender Transcender, written by J. Wallace Skelton, a Canadian activist. The fuck is that? Oh, are you transphobic? You don't know. You don't know. You don't even know anyone who's trans. And if you did, you wouldn't be phobic or afraid of them. But think about how assumptions and stereotypes can cause hurt and upset for others. Take the quiz to see how you measure up. Are any of the statements here true or false? I think that there are only 2 genders. You're born into one or the other. True. To be respected, girls should look and act like girls, and boys should look and act like boys. I mean, I think if we have a more effeminate boy and a tomboy as a girl, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I think we should let them grow through that phase, and 99.99999% of the time, they're going to grow through that. And they're going to accept their gender role because we can't change that. Doesn't mean I'm transphobic. It means I'm fact-based. Oh, let's see. Question number 3. Let's see how we all fail the quiz for being fact-based. I can't tell if someone is a man or a woman, and it really bothers me. Dylan Mulvaney. It has an apple. It has a banana. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. don't think it's possible for people to be a gender other than male or female. There is no other unless you're intersex. And that's literally the smallest population of people. Play the lottery. Very lucky. Very lucky. You have the best of both worlds. Best of both worlds. Here, check this out. Okay. All right. They always say that. Well, what if about the intersex? Okay, you have both male and female characteristics. Anything else? No, because there's no other than male or female. You prove our point time and time again. Sorry, not sorry. If you're going to have a gender reassignment surgery, we go from what to what? Male to female or female to male? There ain't a third option there? Gee, I wonder why. Unless you have some sick scientist Frankenstein motherfucker who wants to make you intersex, a hermaphrodite. Probably find that in like Thailand or some shit off the beaten path. I think that toys and clothing can be categorized as boys and girls. True. I've seen kids for being picked on for being a sissy boy or a tomboy girl and said nothing. Well, here's what lies. What in lies the difference here? I would say something. I would say, quit being a bully, you asshole. Okay? All right. I try to conform to gender stereotypes. I'm a female. I could birth children. I'm lucky in that sense. It's not conforming to a stereotype because, as you can tell, I'm not prim and proper and like Audrey Hepburn. I don't go out of my way to wear high heels and mini skirts and shit unless it's a fun night. But you get what I mean. I'm kind of like jeans and boots kind of gal. Whatever comfortable. I think this is a trick question. I think this is projecting fear and making kids think that if they don't go and if they there is no right answers here, right? There is none except the obvious ones of is there more than two genders? No. I think it's okay to make fun of people who don't conform to gender stereotypes. Here's what I'm going to say. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. If I see a dude with a bow in his hair and he's this big behemoth that you are a man, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say, yep, I'm not going to trust you in my bathroom. Sorry, not sorry. I think that it would do a bit of good for people. I do. Because they're so used to being coddled. And how dare you offend me with your words? I don't give a fuck. How about that? A community member filled out a very complicated form to have this book removed from the middle school libraries. The Metro Library Committee, headed by the media specialists who choose to purchase this book, voted to deny the removal and deemed it appropriate material. Lisa Ford. In March, the district was planning to adopt new curriculums for middle school math and elementary reading programs. The proposed reading curriculum, the book list came from a company called the Collaborative Classrooms. This curriculum director, Barb Bonnies, gee, where have I heard that name before? Put both sets of curricula out for the community review and the Paradigm building. Upon inspection, a second grade book entitled Heather Has Two Mummies and a fifth grade book subtly entitled George were identified. Jesus Pates, man. Here's how we have to gauge our kids' maturity levels, right? That's exactly how I explained it to my kid, right? Well, this kid has a mom and a dad. This one, we always see grandma here. This one just has a mom, or that one just has a dad, and this one has two dads, and this one has two mommies. You don't overcomplicate it, and they don't get curious. They take you at your word because being honest with your children is everything. And as they get older, you can explain to them. Some people are attracted to, there's a guy that's attracted to a girl, and some guys are attracted to guys, and girls are attracted to girls. But anymore, you see television shows, especially the Bravo network, pushing things like thruples and Love Island, Temptation Island. Let's promote cheating. Okay. Sister wives, all kinds of fucked up shit. Okay. That's not normal. Why don't you go into the seated underbelly of polygamy, right? Those cults where they want to marry 12-year-olds or kids that aren't even, what, 9? They can marry, use their religious freedom. These are the type of people that are going to hell. They're going to use their religious freedoms to pray and be pedophiles. Okay, so let's look at this book here. Look at these books here for the middle school. Barbara, huh? The book, the Heather book, was about Heather and both mothers who went everywhere with her, to the park, to the beach. Most Heather's age really wouldn't care that she had two mommies. They just wanted to know if the moms would let Heather come out to play. The mummies, that's it. That was just the premise of the book. The George book is about a biological boy who thinks he's a girl named Melissa. Oh boy. There are some excerpts from this 5th grade book. This book has been retitled and is now selling as Melissa. What the fuck? Oh. 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 She immersed her body in warm water and tried not to think what was between her legs, but there it was, bobbing in front of her. What the fuck? That's it. Scott grinned, oblivious to George's panic. That's my little bro, growing up and looking at dirty magazines. Hey, Rick, looks like somebody's finally starting to grow some balls. There was nothing George dreaded more than when boys talked about what was in their underpants. Dude, I thought you had porn or something in there, so I took a peek. So, like, do you want to? He made a gesture with 2 fingers like a pair of scissors. George squeezed her legs together. Maybe someday, she said. I didn't even know you had any skirts, said George. I don't wear them to school. Boys are dirty and try to look up them. Melissa took off her own underwear, stepped into Kelly's, and pulled it up under her skirt. Then the coolness of the fabric on her skin, she could barely tell she was wearing anything at all. She lifted up her skirt to see her underwear covered in tiny red hearts. She pulled it down and sat and peed, just like a girl. Also, in this new reading curriculum, there were 4, count them, 4 biographies for Colin Kaepernick. Let's just stop for a moment before we move on to the ungrateful multi-millionaire who was adopted into a white family, and then he called them racist because they wouldn't allow him to be a thug and wear cornrows in his hair. He called them racist. Fuck, call them racist. Fucking, how dare you? I can't rock cornrows. They're like, no, got to go to church on Sunday, Colin. We put you through these great schools and get you scholarships, and now you're in the NFL and you ungrateful prick. Let's backpedal here. Can we just unpack what the fuck we just read? Can we? Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's pedophilia. What in the fuck is that? Would you want your fifth grader to come home with that book from school? Let me make sure that was for fifth grade. Make sure. Yeah, fifth grade book. Fifth grade. 10. 10 to 11. Oh, just that prepubescent age where we can drill into their minds that they could change what God gave them. Perfect timing, don't you say? I found a very good video today and I shared it on my X page. And I just messaged him today on Facebook. I'm going to see if he emails me back to see if we can get a podcast together. But he had a whistleblower who was a surgeon with the Texas Children's Hospital that is still doing trans surgeries on kids. Yeah, not good. Dad Saves America, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. What would you guys think about this if your kid brought this home? I would be furious. This is in my school district. Now, do you guys see why my kid doesn't go into their schools? Now, do you see? I would like to see what your thoughts are. What are your thoughts on this? Yeah. Why don't they? Why don't they hand out Penthouse magazine and be done with it? Oh, because it depicts heterosexuality. They don't want that. That's not diverse, equitable, and inclusive enough. But if it was the gay version of Penthouse, I guarantee you they'd like that. Anything for Agenda 2030 to happen, right? The WPATH files, we'll be going over that one too, you guys. We'll be going over the WPATH files. I don't see how every gender affirming care clinic is not shut down. Every doctor or nurse practitioner or therapist, any healthcare professional that pushes gender affirming care. I don't see how they are not in prison. I don't see how these parents who allow their children to be medically experimented on and sterilized and mutilated, or I don't see why they're not in prison. They need to be. They need to be. We need a mass incarceration of these fuckers. You understand? We do. They need to go to prison. All of them. All right, let's go on to Colin Kaepernick. Because he's such a underprivileged, just oppressed person. You know what he showed everybody? That don't you dare, out of the kindness of your own heart, adopt another kid. Especially if you're a white family, don't you dare adopt a black kid and give him a better life. Don't do it. Because one of these days, they're going to grow up. Even if you live in the best of the best of the best areas, even if you give them the best of the best of the best, they're going to come out one day and call you racist because, God forbid, you didn't let them go visit with their parents that gave up on them and rather did drugs instead of taking care of them, right? You didn't encourage a relationship with them because you've done everything to raise them kids. That's what it showed. Don't, out of the kindness of your own heart, do that. Don't you dare. It was more than just race, you guys. This is not about race. This is about character. But he made it all about race. I don't feel sorry for Colin Kaepernick, not one bit. He's a multi-millionaire. Well, I don't know anymore. I don't know. He probably George Soros's payroll. Who knows? Okay, here. Wow. Colin Kaepernick and teammates kneel before the national anthem. Not even worth looking. Ugh. Philandro Castile fed my son's lunch. Cops fed him 4 bullets. Oh, so these are excerpts of Colin's book. Some believed candidate Donald Trump's speeches often had racist undertones. He's stoked fear of immigrants and minorities. Okay, let's kibosh that real quickly. He speaks of illegal immigrants, and he said that MS-13 were a bunch of animals. And guess what? They are. Ugh. I'm not even gonna. I can't spend a lot of time on Colin Kaepernick because he's just ridiculous. Notice on this page, the author calls President Trump a nationalist and a racist, and then goes on to further call Trump's voters nationalists and racist as well. Trump got 50% of the Mentor vote in 2016, which means 50% of the students reading this are being taught that their parents are nationalists and racists. When this fact was pointed out to Superintendent Porter, he did not agree at all. Like, at all. So 4 of the books, Heather Has Two Mommies, George, Transphobia, Deal with It, Colin Kaepernick, just one was removed from the Mentor schools, and that was George. No penises will be bobbing on the top of the bathwater here in Mentor. Also in that March meeting, Superintendent William Porter suddenly and unexpectedly announced his resignation effective July 31st. His resignation was contingent on his appointment as elementary principal at Mentor Small School, Sterling Morton. His request was approved by the school board. At the next board meeting, which would be in April, Mary Briner, board president, was very upset about the book that was removed, and apparently she thinks the whole idea of sex being taught in grades K through 5 is perfectly fine. She posted this on her Facebook a week or so before the board meeting, sharing for anyone interested. Experts claim that sex education should begin in kindergarten. Mary received many emails from outraged parents and community members about this post. She really didn't seem to have any logical or even illogical explanation for why she posted it. It was so strange and a really poor timing. At the board meeting, when the board was discussing these books of what could stay and what could be removed, Mary went off on another board member. She called her a liar and accused her of causing trouble and discord among the board members. It was loud and mean and authentic and totally inappropriate. Mary also threatened the audience to stop talking or she would shut down the entire meeting. When the meeting was over, the board excused themselves to go into an executive session, but apparently several members were still seething about the books and went back to the public session for an hour to an hour and a half. Although no public was aware nor present to hear what they said, this is against sunshine law and pretty much a no in the rules and regs. Also, in April, the Better Lesson in Service made it to the Daily Caller and Washington Examiner. This was courtesy of a group called Parents Defending Education. Here are links to them articles. A school district trains teachers how to become anti-racist and co-conspirators to subvert curriculum rooted in whiteness. And the Washington Examiner posted, America community family teachers in Ohio school district told to combat curricula rooted in whiteness. So, do you remember yesterday when I said that this school has not had enough scandal? Or just a little bit? No. This district, I am ashamed of myself for allowing my son to step 1 inch into that kindergarten. I am ashamed. Did you know that they literally reprimanded my son for yelling at a student that ripped a toy out of his hand? How dare Roman do that? How dare he reprimand a student and yell at him and tell him, don't pull that from my hands? They yelled at my kid instead of the kid who ripped a toy from my child's hands. I am ashamed that I gave you 1 fucking second. So when Mentor Schools was contacted by the Washington Examiner and the Daily Caller, their response was no comment. It happened a long time ago. Did it though? The May Mentor board meeting began with President Mary Briner offering 5-minute public apology to her fellow board members. This is how inappropriate and unacceptable her tirade actually was. The day after the May board meeting, rumors on social media suggested that the students at Mentor High were again planning another rally or protest. This was being planned to protest the recent Roe versus Wade SCOTUS decision, and the students were going to rally for a pro-choice abortion rights. A Mentor resident made a call to Lake County Right to Life, which I donate to because they're amazing. In turn, called Lake County Commissioner John Hamercheck. Commissioner Hamercheck made one call to Mr. Porter and asked about the planned rally. Within 1 hour of that phone call, that rally was shut down, and an email was sent to parents explaining exactly what the consequences would be metered out if any student chose to continue in the protest. Why wasn't this one done back in November? Gee, I wonder why. Because it doesn't suit the agenda. That's why. And oh man, that mask is slithering off. So at the July board meeting, the board voted to edit the dress code of their policies. Okay, students should enhance a positive image of the students and the district and not threaten the health, welfare, and safety of the members of the student body. Any form of dress or grooming that attracts undue attention, prompting a disruption of the learning environment or violation of the previous statement is unacceptable. The superintendent or designee of the is authorized to develop guidelines or handbook provisions to further determine and implement this policy. Dress code rules are in effect during regular school day as well as any school sponsored activity. Oh, here we go. Requirements include, but are not limited to, the following: dress and grooming standards, require cleanliness and the interest of health, sanitary conditions, and safety requirements. Number 2, when student is participating in school activities, his, her dress and grooming must not disrupt his, her performances of the other students or constitute a health threat to himself, herself, or other students. Dress and grooming should not disrupt the teaching or learning process. Clothing is prohibited that bears statements, oh, here we go, slogans, images, illustrations, or insignias that are indecent, offensive, obscene, profane, lewd, vulgar, that harasses, threatens, intimidates, demeans, suggests, or promotes violence in an individual group or group of individuals based off of their sex, color, race, religion, disability, national origin, or otherwise constitutes sexual or other forms of harassment prohibited by the board policy of the student handbook, or that advertises, promotes, or depicts alcoholic beverages, tobacco products, or illegal drugs. The rest of the original dress code was crossed out and eliminated, allowing each building to make their own judgments in regarding the following. Oh, gang-related paraphernalia is allowed. Gang symbols, jewelry, emblems, or signs in communication, written or oral, are not permitted. The following specific limitations shall be observed: no blouses or shirts that expose the midriff or that have inappropriate neckline. Shorts, but in good taste, may be worn at the discretion of the student. Spandex or bicycle or short shorts are not permitted. Students will need to wear short skirts and dresses that are no shorter than 3 inches above the knee. No shirts with inappropriate or obscene images or writings, e.g., gang-related advertisements of alcohol, drugs, or sexual references. No hats, no bandana, no undershirts or sleeveless t-shirts or blouses, tank tops, halter tops, no bare feet, no see-through shirts without an undershirt, no torn or cut jeans, shirts, or shorts, no sagging or excessive baggy pants, but that's racist. No coats worn in the classroom, tattoos, slogans, or insignias, buttons, or other paraphernalia may not be worn or displayed if their message may be reasonably anticipated, substantially and materially disrupt or interfere in the education process. In case of the exposed areas, The building principal may require the student to cover a tattoo with a bandage or some other means while at schools. No particular reason was given for this decision, although some speculate it may involve furries. Also, in the July meeting, the board denied a new conservative member, Annie Payne, redisbursement for her workshop session in Columbus. First time a board member was denied this in the history of the board. At this time, board president Miss Briner asked for any new business. Miss Payne expressed concerns about pronoun surveys at the high school. Additionally, she expressed concerns with the practice of not notifying parents at the high school when a student requests a pronoun change. She only knows about this happening at the high school, but has strong concerns that this could happen at the elementary or middle school without some directive or policy change. She stated she believes we need a policy to outline expectations and creates transparency and consent. She requested that the board consider adjusting policy 730 to include gender surveys to its requirements. It was determined that the superintendent will look into this request and provide an updated policy for the consideration in the future. The August school board meeting, we waited for a policy update on the issue of the pronouns, and nothing has been done. 2 weeks later, this memorandum came out from Superintendent Tim Hammond. Preferred name. Good afternoon. This is response to students asking a teacher to use preferred name in class, but the student hasn't asked for any further change in IC or Google based off our lawyer's most recent update, the conclusion shared below. In deciding whether to disclose a student's transgender status, school employees may face a complicated circumstance where privacy interests collide with other fundamental rights. In balancing these competing concerns, staff should prioritize student well-being and safety, or 2, treat transgender students in accordance with practices that apply to all pupils, or 3, encourage family inclusion when appropriate. Wow. Family inclusion should be top priority, first of all, when you have our children in your schools. Some situations may be exceptionally complicated, and we are always here to help. If a student shares with a teacher that what preferred name they would like to go by, if the student does not want it changed in IC or Google, there really is no need to go any further. That teacher can always use those preferred pronouns or name with the student, and there is no need to share that info with any other staff member or family member unless the student would like additional support throughout the school year. Oh, okay. So if my kid is in your public school and let's just say one day he decides he's a cat and that you will not call him Roman, you will call him Binks. So I'm not supposed to know that because we can do that here at school. You don't think that's going to spill over into the house and cause friction between parent and child? Keeping secrets from parents, you don't think that's a bad thing? See, I tell my son, we don't keep secrets in this house. And then he got to go to school to screw all that up, all this hard work I've been doing this whole time. But I guess, since my boy knows that he's a boy and he can only be a boy, he can't change that. I guess I'm raising a savage bigot, huh? Fuck out of here, man. These motherfuckers are doing everything in their power to cause chaos and anarchy in between families. They're destroying families here. You know who asks you to keep secrets? Groomers. It's literally how groomers groom kids. They ask you to keep secrets. So don't tell me this isn't grooming, because 1000% yes it is. Yes it is. This is our district stance at the time. And this is a assistant superintendent director, grades K through 8. K through 8. Boy, oh boy, man. Every time I lay eyes on this bullshit, guess what? I know I did the right thing by ripping my kid out of this school. Thank God. Thank God. No one knows who made this decision. The new superintendent, Craig Heath, was not named. At least 2 of the 5 board members were not consulted. Gee, I wonder who those 2 were. Probably Annie and Rose. The public statement that was the public statement was that decisions would be tabled. One of the members suggested wait until the final decisions were made regarding Title VI at the federal level. Or no, is that what is that? Title IX? Yeah, that's Title IX, isn't it? Isn't it Title IX about the trans kids? Hold on, you guys. Let me look up Title IX. I think that's what it is. It's Know Your Rights. Oh. Yeah, Title IX, it says, is the most commonly used name for the landmark federal civil rights law in the United States, and it was enacted as part of the Education Amendments of 1972. It prohibits sex-based discrimination in any school or any other education program that receives funding from the federal government. Keep that in mind. And then this memo was sent out to teachers at the high schools and both middle schools. No notice was sent to parents or school board members. Fox Digital News got a hold of the story and through an advocate group called Parents Defending Education. This is a link to that article. I'll link all of this stuff in the description of my video after we're done uploading, you guys. It has been about 1 year since the members of the mentor community have begun to pay attention to what's going on in our mentor schools. It's not just one thing here and there because of, or another over there. It's happening a lot. It doesn't even include some of the things done because of COVID, the whole mask debacle. But you who are reading this need to understand that when the community is screaming that they are not following the kind of education and learning that the majority of mentor parents want for their children, they're not talking about minor stuff. The books on the shelves, the boys entering the girls' bathrooms, perhaps locker rooms as well, the endless pot stirring from the school board president, the repetitive mistakes of the curriculum director and the media specialist are making in their choices of curriculum for both students and teachers. The general Cold War. Let me make sure who's at my fucking front door. Oh, it's FedEx. Okay. For both teachers and students, the general Cold War that they are encouraging between blacks and whites, straights and LGBT leads to even more. Stop it! Be quiet, fucker. It actually leads to more bullying and even less actual learning. In a word, our schools are in chaos. We need new leaders. Shut the hell up. We need to get control of our administrators and teachers, the students, and the curriculum, and once again have mentor schools be A+ as they were in the past years. So this is concerned mentor taxpayers. Our tax dollars go to this school, and I firmly believe that we could be A+ rated again. Before COVID, we were. Before all of this indoctrination, this DEI bullshit was started in our schools, we were one of the best. Like, I was proud that I was a Mentor High School graduate. It was never like this, though, and now it is. And why? Who opened the door for that? Because it wasn't Trump. So instead of proving that Trump is so mean, boo, mean tweets, maybe, just maybe, because he gives a shit about our children's education. Well, the current administration, they don't give a shit about anything now, do they? Our veterans are still sleeping on the streets. Our border is wide open. Our inflation rate sits pretty at 17.1%. Everything costs like $1,000 more a month than it did under President Trump. We didn't lose track of millions of illegal aliens. We also didn't have a bunch of illegal aliens beating the crap out of our police officers and getting let out right onto the streets. We didn't have to worry about illegal aliens stomping in the heads of our nursing students, because back then, if you fucked up, you were gone. You were out of here. We didn't lose track of 100,000 migrant children either, unaccompanied alien children. This is messed up. This entire administration has fucked everything up. I don't even know if it can be repaired. Honest to God. I think, and this is what I speculated for a long time, I had a sneaking suspicion that Joe Biden, Biden, was going to destroy this country and our education system, our economy, everything, our safety, our well-being, our security, everything. I had a sneaking suspicion that he was going to destroy everything beyond repair. Oh, well, if Trump gets in there, good luck. Good luck fixing this. It is going to take a fucking army to clean this country up. I have never, ever, ever seen this country in such disarray as I do today. And as parents, the last thing you want to do is be worried about sending your child to school. God forbid they come across one of those books. This is disgusting. They should be ashamed of themselves. And Mary Briner, thank God you're not at the helm of my district anymore, because me and you would be going up head to head against each other. Sex ed in kindergarten? Are you kidding me? Why don't you just say you're a minor attracted person? Just say it. Just say it. You think children at 7, 6, 5 and 6-year-olds, you literally think that they understand sex at all? And if they do, like I did at 5, you better be getting them some fucking help. And somebody better be going to jail. And I don't see why these people who think that they can push this type of shit to kids and use the education stipulation to get away with it, I don't see any difference than Chester the molester and these fucking people. I see no difference whatsoever. How could you consciously look at kids and go, gee, this should be in your hands? Do we let kids play with matches? No. Do we let kids drive our cars? No. Why not? Because it's dangerous. That's why. I can't, you guys, man. I don't understand it for the life of me. Why we have these people that literally think that we're going to sit down and take it. Because they look what they did with January 6th. All those political hostages, right? They're hostages. You say, oh, the moms at school boards, the FBI literally beating down their doors for calling out just this. Go ahead, threaten me. What are you going to do? You're going to take me away from my kids? Oh, that's right. Because she doesn't want pornography in the hands of her child. Therefore, the state needs to take him away. That's their logic. She has a little boy, right, who for somehow went to school and now he comes home saying he's a girl. If she doesn't affirm that, let's take that child away from her and put him in foster care, where we all know what happens in the foster care system. These people are demonic. And I'm going to circle back to the beginning of this video, and I'm going to say, there are demons everywhere. And I don't mean literal demons. I mean these people literally are pushed by their demon in their life pushed to think that this type of thing is okay. Because clearly, a person that fights demons and battles demons and wins does not think that this is okay in the slightest. The people that have been sexually abused, either one, they're going to be a fighter against this type of thing, or they're going to repeat the cycle. But you know what? Out of the people that I know who have been abused in that manner, they're proponents for protecting kids. Everyone that I know personally. You have to ask yourself what went wrong with these people? What went wrong with them? I can't tell you. I can't tell you, you guys. It's probably one of the yeah, that's a great thing here. Omer, you're Muslim. What do you what is your take on it as a Muslim yourself? What is your take on the people that think that it's okay to push pornography to little kids? Like, you're in the Netherlands, right? Man, I don't know what happened to fucking Netherlands, man, but even Omer's pretty sick of it. Like, winning women's titles and shit. And then there was that Dutch television show that literally the adults stripped naked in front of these little kids. It was screwed up. What is your take on this, Omer? Yeah, pretty simple. It's not okay. I think for the most part, you guys, we come to the consensus of keeping that type of thing out of the hands of kids in schools and keeping schools just for education. Be a kid, learn the 3 R's: math, science, English, writing. Most of the kids in my school, it was like an A+ school. 56% are not efficient in math, or proficient, I'm sorry, proficient in math and English. 56%. So if you were to get a 56 on a test, what would that be? Anybody want to enlighten me? Entertain me? It would be a failing grade. So they know this. They know this, and they still won't do anything about it. Trump was right. We need to go back to the good old days where the kids went to school to have an education, not be indoctrinated or groomed into going against their parents, keeping secrets from their parents, being confused of who they are. They should be taught to love who they are, that God didn't make any mistakes. It's just not possible. Not even if you don't even believe in God, you don't even have to, you guys. I'm sorry. I am speaking from my own perspective. There are no mistakes made. None. And you should embrace it. You're going to go through trials and tribulations. You're going to go through changes in your life. You're going to go through different phases. You're going to love some music when you're a little kid. And then when you're an adult, you're going to fucking hate that music. Life is all about switch ups and change ups and all kinds of things. And I'm not going to place all the blame on the educators or the indoctrinators, as I'd like to call them. I have to put blame on some parents too, because there ain't enough parents out there that are willing to stand up. Where's the dads at? Where are the dads? I want to see some dads up in them school board meetings, because we got Moms for Liberties, and they're called a white supremacist group for not wanting pornography in the schools, not wanting boys in our girls' bathrooms. Yeah, they're white supremacists. Where are the dads at? We need dads in there to push back and fight for their kids. And if the school is doubling down, tripling down, quadruple downing, you know what you do? You pull your kid out of their school. I highly recommend homeschooling. Don't you dare send your kid to public schools these days. Don't do it. Don't do it. I have this video here. I'm going to get a hold of Dr. Ethan Haim. No, thank you. Did you guys hear that? I don't know if you heard that. It was probably not. It was an advertisement on YouTube. All right. I would like to talk to this gentleman who runs Dad Saves America. Speaking of dads, right? I'm like, where the dads at? I found one. This guy here. I shared it on my X page. This is Dr. Ethan Haim exposes Texas Children's Hospital for secret transgender program. Okay. I highly recommend that you go to Dad Saves America. He's got 71,000 subscribers. I guarantee you need to watch this. I think James Lindsay was right. I think that we need to start upping the ante when it comes to allowing detransitioners and or any of these children who have the complications that arise due to this gender affirming care. We need to up the statute of limitations to be able to sue for damages, neglect, any kind of negligence. I think that malpractice, I think we need to up the ante and let them sue up to 20 years. And I guarantee you, like he said, they'll start closing those doors quick as shit. We need to start pushing our state, our local government, our state government, and our federal government to start doing for us. Because, you guys, they would rather come together to spy on us, to shut down TikTok. Look how quick they came together for that. And isn't that appalling? Doesn't that tell you something? They can come together in 2 hours to ban TikTok. They can't come together to protect kids. This documentary or this interview here lasts about an hour and a half. It's a little over an hour and a half, you guys. I want you to watch this on your own time. Because this man, this doctor here, who helped him? I think it was Chris Ruffalo. Ruffalo helped him. Chris Ruffalo helped him. Or Ruffalo. I think his last name is Ruffalo. He's really big in with protecting kids. This doctor reached out to a bunch of people in the media, and Chris Ruffalo was one of the only people who reached back out to him. This doctor goes into what they do to these kids. It is tragic. And I also want you guys to read the WPATH files. We're going to go over those WPATH files on the next, because again, I think that this would be the nail in the coffin for gender affirming care. It would be it. Because they write the standards of care when it comes to gender affirming care. In their own words, they're saying the quiet part out loud. They're openly admitting all of this stuff, and yet they're still not shut down. The NHS did the right thing by banning gender affirming care. So here's Dad Saves America. I want you to go visit his YouTube channel. I'm going to talk to him about my school board and everything else. Here's a school that feminizes boys. But I want you to pay attention to the whistleblower that protects kids. Because look, you guys, they're going to threaten us. They're going to scream at us. They're going to call us bigots and fascists and assholes and all kinds of bullshit. Maggots. Gotta love that one. They're going to call us all sorts of bullshit to throw us off our game, to make us shut up. Have you ever known me to shut up? For those who have known me for years, have you ever known me to shut up? Let me see, you guys. I want to see. Oh, Mandy's here. Mandy, tell everybody in the comments what the third grader said to your daughter the other day. Hi, Blue Eyes. Hugs back. Eric. Hi, Eric Tate. Mandy, all of these people in the stream are phenomenal people. Bill, he's got that wrench. I'll introduce you to Bill. I met Bill in person. He's a Michigander, but I'll tell you, he's on our side. Omer is all the way in the Netherlands, so you probably won't get to meet him. I get to meet him first, if anything. Eric Tate, good people. Sean McPeak's been here for a long time. Looking Glass, I know that name. Angie's good people. Dawn is good people. Alex Zer, good people. Ohio Garden Goddess, good people. Queen Bee's Art Hive, good people. So you're in good company. Believe me. We are a big consensus of wanting America to be better for everybody. Black kids, white kids, it doesn't fucking matter, man. They're making us divided based off of attributes that we can't fix. We can't change. It doesn't matter. They're looking at the content of your character and going, what the fuck does that matter? They're saying, well, if you slap a kid in the face, you get to just get off scot-free. I'll tell you what, man. If my mother, Italian, right? My mother, pure 100% Italian, okay? If I ever came home and my mom saw that I was slapped in my face and the school didn't go and do nothing about it, do you want to know what my mama would do? Oof. My mother would raise hell. Literally. She would rain hail upon them. Serious, she would. And she's passed that down to me. Velislav, he's the best hog killer you'd ever meet. He's all the way in Germany, though. I get to meet him first. What are conservative drag queens? My neighbor said in Texas, drag queen hour is okay. Okay, so there's a few conservative drag queens that refuse to perform in front of children, like Kitty Demure and Miss Mega, I think. Let me see. Miss Mega. All right, let me look. I think Miss Mega is on Instagram. Let me see. I might be wrong. Lady Maga. Lady Maga, the loneliest drag queen in America, says Rolling Stone. I don't think so. So Lady Maga wanted to bring sparkle to the conservative movement. Then the anti-trans panic set in. So Rolling Stone literally, you know how they felt about Cuties, right? That movie Cuties on Netflix, which caused all of us to cancel our Netflix accounts. They held that up to a pedestal, said what a great film it was. Never mind the fact it was about 11-year-old girl who was, bad things were happening to her. They looked at the Sound of Freedom, the life's work, the true story of Tim Ballard rescuing kids from human trafficking. They shit all over it. So I don't hold much to what Rolling Stone has to say. Like, you literally celebrated a movie that sexualized an 11-year-old child, and you shit all over a literal organization that aids in helping human trafficking kids, rescue kids out of human trafficking. Here's how I feel about you, Rolling Stone. That's why Rolling Stone has taken a nosedive, a literal nosedive into a dumpster. That's how great they are. They fucking stink. Yeah, they are. They're garbage. They're hot garbage is what they are. Hot garbage. Oh, Jordan Peterson was right. Yes, Sean. They aid in Did I say AIDS? Matt Walsh was right. Trump was right. Jordan Peterson was right. Jesse Lee Peterson was right. Oh my God. I can't believe, like, I love that podcast that we had, man. I had to get him to say that shit about BLM, dude. I had to. Because it was founded by Marxist black lesbians who hate men and hate white people. It's crazy, man. And the greatest lie ever sold by Candace Owens, man. Literally one of the best films I've ever had, one of the best documentaries I have ever seen. It was great. Rolling sucks. Yeah, they want to make that normal. It's not. That's why they tested the waters with the whole minor attracted persons movement, and the backlash was immense. This is how we feel about that. Like, it just because they're in schools, that doesn't mean that they're okay or safe, you guys. They're not safe. As you could tell, that timeline, mwah, amazing work. You know who you are. We call her mom, man. That's like a mom. That's fierce. Mama bear is what I'm going to call her. Plus, her name, the first name, right? This is awesome. Was the TV mom of probably the best television show in history. It would be too offensive today. Not going to give any more hints. That's it. Jesse Lee Peterson cracks me up because no, he doesn't. He does not have one left to give at all. I love Jesse Lee Peterson as well. He's amazing. Thank you, Ken. Thank you. You know, you guys, I could have done music reactions. I probably would still be monetized and stuff like that, right? But there comes a time when you're met in that fork in the road, whether to go down the right path or stay on the path that you're on. It's not necessarily the wrong path, but it's just the wrong path for you. I chose the right path. You know, when you are told and your conscience is telling you to do something, you do it. I'm not ashamed, and I'm not mad, and I don't regret it at all. I don't, because I still got all of you. I still got my Patreon, you know. I still got other means of earning income and stuff like that. Plus, you know what just happened to me a month ago, right? It opened so many doors for me that were closed tight. Yeah. This chapter of my life is by far the best. And they can call me violent and make up bullshit like, oh, you're gonna hit her. Oh, well, that was a funny part. Bitch, what the fuck? Clean the cobwebs or whatever the fuck you got in your ears. That woke mind virus has literally like retarded your hearing or done something to it. There ain't nobody on this earth gonna ever get me to that point where you're gonna take me out of my character and get me going back to prison. Nobody. Not jail, not prison, not a nothing. I will never again be behind bars. Do you understand me? I took that pact and I meant it. I promised my kid, my oldest, I meant it. I don't break promises. That's one thing I refuse to do is break promises with my kids. No. Mm-mm. Unfortunately, and I told my son this, man. I said, Matt, I said, you're going to understand the method to my madness when you become a parent. Anything and everything that annoys you about me, when I'm gone, you're going to say, now I see. And when we're kids and we eventually become parents, all we ever want is to be those kinds of parents that we wish we had. You know, although my mother was a very protective mother, she was not there all the time, especially in my time of need. The most important times where I needed her, she wasn't there. I was not going to be like that with my kids. I don't think anybody's perfect, and I think we all make mistakes, but we have to learn from our mistakes. And how do we prove to not only everybody else, but how do we prove to ourselves that we have learned from our mistakes? We don't do them again. Right? All right, everybody. I appreciate you. I've been on here long enough. I'm going to end it with this. Thank you so much for joining me. I need some coffee. I do. I need some coffee really, really bad. I do have a great company that are in all of my link trees. If you want a way to support me, because we are demonetized, that link tree, it's everything in there. Okay. There's all of my affiliations, all of the companies that I work for affiliation programs, all of my discount codes and everything are in there already. All you have to do is click on that link. It'll give you everything. My Patreon, Rumble is on there. Twitter's on there. Everything's on there. So this is going to be a mission, and this is going to take years. So if you want to support that mission, let me know you're a part of the team. That's how you do it. My PayPal and Venmo and Cash App is all in there too, if you guys can. It's not necessary, but if you want to say, let's go, Jen, count me in, that's how you do it. This coffee company, you guys, I'll tell you what, other coffee companies, including Kona Coffee, that's $27 a bag. I would have to drink 3 to 4 cups just to get the amount of caffeine that I need to get my day started and done. Blackout coffee ain't like that, man. This shit is amazing. Be awake, not woke. And go to blackoutcoffee.com and use promo code JustJen for 10% off your order. Now, all of that again is in my link tree, and you can click on all of those affiliate links. But you guys, this is going to be an uphill battle. And even if you can't support monetarily, your support being here is everything. To see those numbers, I mean, we had a huge amount of people here yesterday. I was like so happy. I'm like, thank you guys. Thank you so much, because you could be anywhere else, but you're here right now with me, and that means more to me too. So, all right, I got to get out of here. I got to get going. Tomorrow I get to have my fingernail finally fixed. So, I don't know if I'll be streaming in the morning or not, but if I get some other stuff that I want to share with you. Oh, motherfuckers. Now that I got you here, I do have some news. I'm not going anywhere. Hang on. Because Roman came up, Maggie Lachlan, Mandy told me about this yesterday. Now, Roman came downstairs last night and I could not finish this. And I have to do this now. Because remember, I told you guys about the scandal that has rocked my community of the literal teachers that are getting busted doing things with students that they shouldn't do, or they're on the internet trying to buy sex with minors. Mentor Ohio has had its fair share of scandal regarding this. So you would think like they would be like, dude, you guys, we probably shouldn't put this shit in our schools because look at our reputation already. And again, you can check out Suicide High if you want to. I think that's a movie on, let me see where it's streaming at. It's a movie. Mentor Ohio. I think it's called like School of something. What is this documentary called? I have to find out the documentary. Suicide Mentor High, Mentor Ohio School documentary. I have to find that really quickly because I want you guys to watch that movie. It's really sad when you watch it because now that I have children, especially, right? And when this this father is talking about how they found his 12-year-old son hanging there in the bathroom. It's like really, 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 really creepy, you know. I gotta find it. Now they're like, oh, it's just called Mentor. Look at that. Mentor documentary. It's just called Mentor. Let's look it up. It's a trailer on YouTube. I want to play it for you guys here. I'm going to share this with you guys before I share the middle school teacher that was literally giving head to the students. This is only 3 minutes long.
We moved to Mentor with the expectations it would be a gentler life. It would be less aggressive. It was not what I was expecting. Kids from the classroom told us that these kids would misbehave and just torment Eric. From day one, the bullies would push him into lockers. They smacked him upside his head. They called him fag.
Bila je puna života, puna energije, a vidite šta su djeca od nje uradila.
The school is rated excellent, but we see lots of drug activity and violence in the school that they refuse to prosecute.
I know him. That's a good man right there.
A te godine, I don't know, curice, onda su pojedini dobacivali da je lezbijka, da je, I don't know, što se druži samo sa curicama, što nema muški.
And everybody knew probably who the bullies were because the parents were in there constantly telling them, and the kids were reporting it, and the security guards were reporting it. So the question is, what did they do about it?
Nothing.
And the day that he killed himself, the bully said to Eric, "Why don't you go home and just shoot yourself? It's not like anyone would care." And he did.
I pisala posle na MySpace kako je grdna haljina i kako je loše obučena, kako loše izgleda u sanduku.
Wow.
Keep the banners waving over, floating toward the sky. We've a team that's fighting for us. Cheer for Mountain.
How can one school have so many kids have such serious problems that would cause them to want to kill themselves?
Alma mater.
My son was in that marching band.
Mater. When from thee we part, we shall keep thy memory ever woven in our heart. We shall keep thy memory ever woven in our heart.
Oh Lord. As a parent, I'm sure that is every parent's worst fear. And again, the school did nothing, right? So I find it remarkably odd. What if a girl, this is a what if situation, but it's all too common. It happens all too often. What if a girl moves to Mentor, you know? I'm going to use me as an example. Moves to Mentor because the school system's a lot better. The community's a lot safer. What if this little girl had been horribly abused in the most violent, horrific way possible? Her innocence stolen in her own bed. She goes to the bathroom where she thinks she's safe. and in walks a male student with one thing and one thing on his mind: an easy target. This girl's 5 foot, weighs 90 pounds, soaking wet. And the inevitable happens. The tragic happens. The tragedy strikes again. It is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We would much rather have administration educate their teachers on how to be less white, ask kids what your ethnicity is, and when they look down, they don't see their ethnicity. They have to see or pick other, or I choose not to disclose. They see a form of which pronouns would you rather be called? Do you ever think for 1 second there would be a survey out there of, have you ever been sexually abused? Do you feel safe in the bathroom, using the bathroom with the opposite gender? No. Have you ever been bullied in this school? Of course not. And when the kids are bullied, nothing's done. 5 years. This little girl of Tiffany's was bullied because of her weight since kindergarten. Now she's in the 5th grade. She gets slapped in the face by a boy. It just so happens to be a black boy. Where is it on the news? Where is it on social media? Didn't go viral. Nobody heard about it. Brushed under the rug. Student wasn't even reprimanded. Thankfully, that mom is proactive enough, and thankfully that mom took her daughter to karate. Thank God. So it's not as if like we have to worry about our daughters being sexually assaulted in the school or bullied. This Russian, I think either they're Russian or Slavic or something, Polish, I don't even know. Their daughter's dead, never coming back. The other family, their child's dead. He's never coming back. These are just a few of the kids. There's a lot more. A lot more. They would rather focus on pronouns and gender ideology, trans ideology, and critical race theory, and all this, that, and the other. But what about bullying? Or, because if they say if we don't call the kid by their preferred pronouns, they're going to die. They're going to die. What about the kids that already are gone? No? Nothing? The parents that are putting their child through gender affirming care, don't worry. After you butcher your kid and take away all of your, child's, sexual function, after you sterilize and take away a sexual function, especially the ability to procreate, don't worry, because it'll happen 7 to 10 years after your child is butchered. Ain't going to be conservatives that are going to do it either. I would imagine if I was a kid and my mother allowed me to do that, because I asked her the other day, hey, Mom, if I came home as a kid and I told you that I was a boy, you remember when I dressed like a boy and did boy shit? If I came home and said, I'm a boy and I want you to put me through gender affirming care, I said, what would you do? She says, I would tell you abso-fucking-lutely not. And I was like, okay, I respect that. I would do the same. No. Not a lot of kids these days are told no, right? That school is infamous for bullying. Yet the left wing activists are like, oh, yelling about pushing pornography in schools and critical race theory to our students. What a waste of time. Why are we here? What a waste of time. We should be focusing on classroom sizes and bus schedules. Ugh. Because if a school wants to promote pornography to our children, it's not a waste of time. And I believe that that trumps classroom size. And I believe that trumps busing issues. Motherfuckers. You don't even want to bring up the bullying. Of course you don't. Because it doesn't matter to them. What matters to them is they're in that echo chamber of left-wing ideology. That is what matters to them. Okay. Scandal. Here's another scandal that has rocked. Remember, 4 months ago, we had a 4th grade and elementary school teacher named Tim Tatko arrested when he thought he was talking to a minor on the internet and met up with what he thought was a kid for sex. He was met with cops. Thank God. There's all sorts of fucked up shit that has happened in this school district. This one. Sick. And what I found about that Timothy Tatko is a whole lot. He's able to continue his case. Every motion that this Cuyahoga County judge had, that he landed, probably from his attorney. Who knows? Probably the school paid for his attorney. I don't know that for sure, but probably these woke progressive left asshats had rallied against behind him, paid for the best of the best attorneys, because every motion gets passed and granted for him. He gets to travel across state lines and all this, that, and the other. Yeah. Probably what happened to him is going to happen to this lady here. Check this out. Former teacher Maggie Laughlin, who had sex with students, seeks release from prison after serving only 3 months. Let's you look at that. Maggie Laughlin, the 23-year-old former mentor math teacher, sentenced in August to 3 years in prison. Reported, hey, can I buy some drugs? Gets 3 years in prison. Phone call. Has sex with students, gets 3. Yep, you already know what I feel. She got 3 years in prison for having oral sex with a 9th grade student, is asking to be released from prison early. A hearing has been scheduled at 1:45 Wednesday, less than 3 months after the Lake County Common Pleas Judge Paul Mitrovich sentenced her. He will decide whether she is, so she's going for a judicial release. Laughlin of Willowick was a first-year teacher at Shore Junior High School. She admitted to performing oral sex on the student the last 8 days of school. She pled guilty to 8 counts of unlawful sexual conduct with a juvenile. The maximum sentence would have been 18 months on each count, ran consecutively. She got it ran concurrently. And 5 of her charges must have been dismissed. Because you got 8 charges, right? That are 18 months on each. They only charged her with 3 and sentenced her on 3. So they no-billed or nulled 5 out of the 8 charges. So she was sentenced for 3. And those 3 are running consecutively. No. Yes. 18. No. 36 months would be 2 So maybe 6 were nulled and 2 counts she was charged with, and they ran those consecutively, giving her the 3 years in prison, 36 months in prison. So she lost her teaching license and has to register as a sex offender for the next 25 years. No, you don't say. When Mitrovic sentenced her, he said, as a teacher, you were placed in a position of trust. You showed uncaring and selfishness on your part. Well, pedophilia. What else? No, just fucking predator. You're a predator. I'm going to wonder what happened with Maggie. I'm going to look and see if she was released from prison. Hold that thought, y'all. I want to know if she was given a judicial release, because when you get a sentence in Ohio prisons, depending on what the offense is, you may file for what's known as a judicial release. And that is a release from prison early. And then you're on parole for the rest of the time. And if you violate, you go back for half your time or finish out your sentence on a judicial release. But don't worry, because in Ohio prison, women's prison, okay, in the Ohio women's prison, the pedos are in general population. And you're not allowed to intimidate them or harass them, because you'll go to the hole. It's not like men's prison. And I have a sneaking suspicion that Maggie here landed herself up at the Northeast pre-release in Cleveland instead of serving her time at the Ohio Reformatory for Women. Let's see, it was Maggie Laughlin. Released from prison. I could look her up on the ODRC, the Ohio, that's the Ohio prison system inmate search. Wow. Well, here we go. Former Mentor school teacher Maggie Laughlin was released from prison Wednesday after serving about 13 months of her 3-year sentence for having sexual relations with a 15-year-old student. Now she had Judge Gibson released her and sentenced her to 200 hours of community service and counseling. She will not be permitted to work as a teacher anywhere in the country. Lake County prosecutor Charles Colson said he had no objection to her early release. She cooperated with us and the police completely. She told us things that the victim did not tell us. She has been a model prisoner. Hers is the kind of case an early release statutes were made for. Wow. Are you kidding me? Really? Really? You know that when I filed for judicial release, I was denied. I was denied. My mother even paid for an attorney. I have no faith in this justice system at all. None. I have no faith that our court systems will protect our children if they're preyed upon by school officials, because clearly, look, have sex with a kid, you're going to get just a few months, a little over a year. Wow. And the prosecutors are going to sing your praises and have zero objection as to whether you can get out early. They said I wasn't rehabilitated after serving a year out of 3 years in prison for calling a drug dealer over the phone. I wasn't a model for the statue. I had to stay there do my time. Wow. I'm glad I did, though. I'm glad I did because I remained sober this whole time and I'm a better person because of it. But can you see from my perspective of how this is extremely painful? They have a sex offender, somebody that had a drug problem because she was preyed on by a sex offender. I mean, I have zero faith. I have zero faith in our schools and our justice system, but I do have faith that I will make sure that I protect my child at all costs and that I stand up for what's right. Gather myself here. Not the outcome I was expecting. But it's incidents like that that make me no, I know that I'm doing the right thing. I know that I'm doing the right thing and I'm going to keep on trucking. Because you know what, you guys, if we're going to have a school administrators, board members, superintendents, blah 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 blah, core systems, fail our kids, we can't fail them. We can't fail them. All right. Make sure you guys are following me on Rumble and everything else. Make sure you are following me. Just click the link tree. That's it. And thank you for being here. Thank you, Omer, Velislav, Bill. Thank you guys for being here. And I appreciate you guys. Yeah, right. Demonetized like a mother. What can you do? Google loves that shit, man. If I was a raging lesbian telling kids to go no contact with their parents and all this, that, and the other, I'd be fine. I should have said I was transgendered. I'd be just fine. All right, guys. I really appreciate you guys. Ohio, make sure you vote tomorrow. It's your primaries. Make sure you're doing your due diligence as to whom to vote for. If you're in my area and we're friends on Facebook, ask me, and I got the entire cheat sheet on who to vote for tomorrow to make America great again. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Protect them babies at all costs. And do not be afraid to stand up. Who gives a shit if they threaten you? What are they going to do? All right. I love you guys. Have a good one.